All right, we're going to talk about broken key stick, which is a pretty common issue, especially on older pianos. And the way you can identify, actually let's go back to the piano and we can identify it. If this is in there and you hold down on the back and the front wiggles like that, you know, on these others, if I hold down on the back, there's no movement. That's how we want it. This one, there's a lot of movement there without the back of the key moving at all. Okay? So here, you look closely there, and we've got a little gap under there, got a gap down here, and then here. When I open, kind of put some tension on that, you can see the fibers of the wood that are broken there. Okay, we want to, at all costs, we want to avoid breaking the key altogether and re-gluing it. That is a recipe for disaster. That will, more often than not, that'll make the key, it won't be perfectly straight, flat, you know, it'll be kind of bent like this, or it'll be bent like that, or it'll be bent this way or that way. So I recognize the temptation to break it apart so you can get glue all the way in there, but I'm going to resist that temptation, and I'm going to preserve the alignment and just get glue in as much as I can, just kind of working it in with my finger, and that's going to hold it. Okay, so I kind of put a little bit of tension on it. And put that at the edge, and just kind of push it in with my finger. And you can see as I kind of wiggle it, that it is definitely getting worked in there. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Looks like we've got a pretty good gap in here. See that gap right there? And I fully recognize that I'm not getting the glue all the way in, but it's getting in far enough that it will hold, and it's just a sacrifice we're going to have to make. It's a trade-off for preserving the alignment exactly as we need it, because it's a much bigger headache to fix the alignment later on. Here's the last one that I see under here. And then in some instances, we can also take a piece of veneer and glue it on here and here as kind of a splint, and that will give it some extra support. And in some cases, that's a good idea. Okay, so that feels like I've gotten the glue in as far as I can kind of push it. That and kind of this. Let's see. Okay. I guess plan B. I'm fairly certain. I'd say I'm 90% plus certain that that's when that glue dries, that's going to hold. Even when somebody plays that note really hard, that will hold. If I'm wrong, 10% or whatever, then we repeat this process, re-glue it again, but then we add the veneer, and that's 100%. My only concern about the veneer is I just don't want it to rub on the neighboring keys, which sometimes there's plenty of space between keys, sometimes there's not. So let's go with this for now.